California, stay away from here. Stay away from here now. Don't come in here. Whatever you hear, stay away. John Doe has the upper hand.
What's in the box?
Greetings, everyone. Steve, Paracord of Kindness. How you doing today? Hopefully your weaving's been happy. Okay, welcome to another edition of What's in the Box? Man, don't look in the box. What's in the box? But before we get to the box, as always, I'm going to talk at you for a little while. Tell you what's going on in my corner of the Paracord world. So let's get this out of the way. Okay, first off, I had somebody make a comment, an off-topic comment about something. And I told him, I said, man, I am busy, and I have not had time to take care of this. But if you're watching, it has been taken care of. Now, just to tell you how busy I am, I'll just throw this out there. I put in 21 hours yesterday. And most of it is to do with either making bracelets, making these videos, retrieving packages, all this kind of stuff. Now, I did eat 2 quick meals yesterday, but I put in 21 hours. So, and I kind of a side tangent. Somebody asked me once, how long have you been doing this? And I told that person, I said, he was making a reference to his compliment of how good my work was. He said, how long have you been doing this? And I told him this. I said, it's not about how long I've been doing it. It's about how much time I spend each day doing it. Does that make sense? Because most people say, how long have you been doing it? And they expect you to say 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Well, I've been doing this, give or take 5 years or so. But it's the amount of time I put in every day. I don't do this just on the weekends. Now, I'll say this, a caveat. I don't mean no disrespect to people, but I mean, who can only do it on the weekends. I get it. Life happens, bills, rent, mortgage, family, kids. I get all that. I understand it. Some people can't. But I am in a fortunate situation where I spend most of my time doing this. This keeps me occupied and, doing things that probably would get me in trouble, right? So this is a creative outlet, if you will. And I spend most of my time doing this. Okay, now, with that said, but that's what I told the gentleman. I said, I spend more time during one day doing this. It's not about how long in like months, years, days that I've been doing this, how much time I put in that one day to do it. I put in a lot of time. Watching videos, those who follow me know that I'll make a bracelet. The first thing I do is take out a stitching needle and start trying to find how I can stitch it by where can I go through and create a pattern or whatever. And that's a lot of time. I'll sit there and do that. Sometimes that'll take me half a day just messing around with that. And I'll come up with 3, 4, 5 different ways to stitch one bracelet. And I finally, decide on, I think this one looks the best. This stitch pattern will accentuate the weave that's on the bracelet. That kind of thing. Right? But anyway, back to the original topic. I took care of the issue, my friend. I took care of the issue. Like I said, I'm busy. 21 hours yesterday. Okay, now, with that said, let's see. What's next? As always, I'll just show you some things I've been working on, and we'll just go from there. Some stuff that I've done. I've got some tutorials on my channel for some of these. Some of them I don't. But, shameless plug. I've got tutorials for this. This is a stitched Black Widow. This is a Cetus weave. It's olive drab, maroon, and gold, kind of my signature colors. Right? And here's one of the latest tutorials. Now, this one's a bit complicated. This is not for a beginner whatsoever. And the tutorial for this is quite long because I try to explain in depth what's going on here. But there's 2 videos, one for the bracelet and one for this little side stitch. But this is I've seen it called 2 different things, a belly fishtail or a fishtail belly. the tutorials, the normal tutorials don't have this Cobra inlay, as I call it, down the middle. They just have basically the black bracelet. But I call it a Fishbelly, right, with a Cobra inlay. And what I mean by inlay is this red Cobra part is not stitched after the fact. You don't make the bracelet and then come back and do that. No, you inlay it or interweave it into the bracelet. As you're weaving the 550, you're also weaving, interweaving, inlaying this Imperial Red Cobra barb down the center of it, right? So I've got one tutorial on that, and like I say, it's quite long. And I've got another one on the stitching on the side. If you can see it, it's kind of hard to see. Here, let me turn this light on. That might help a little bit. You can kind of see right here. It's black, Imperial Red, and that piece of dark gray. It's also that dark gray is running up under there, acting as the core strand for that Cobra weave right there. That's anthracite. It's really, really dark gray. Okay, there's that. I'll put the links for those below. Let's see, what else have I worked on? Here's what I did. This is a... Oh, let me throw this out there. Somebody asked me on one of the social medias, they commented on one of the posts, and they asked me, where do you get all these ideas, or where do you get these weaves? I forget exactly how they worded it. And I told them, and I'll say this for those who may not know this, most of us know that you can go on YouTube and type in, tutorial for paracord bracelet. And it'll spit back all kind of stuff. Most often, the most common ones we see. Now, if you know the name of the weave itself, you can type that in. Like, this is a Black Widow. That's what it's called. You can type in Black Widow paracord bracelet in the YouTube search bar, and if there's one out there, I know I have one. I don't know if anybody else does or not. It'll come by. It'll give you the results. Okay? Most people know of YouTube, but there are other places where you can find these things. Pinterest. I'm not very active on Pinterest. I go on there every now and then, but you can find pictorials on Pinterest. There are books. Certain people in the paracord community put out, they have actually published and printed books they've put out. You can purchase some of those. You can go on like Amazon and type in, look specifically for books, paracord bracelet, paracord project books, that kind of thing. You'll get all kind of results. Let's see. There are some of the, I know on Facebook, in some of the paracord groups on Facebook, for those who don't know this, in a Facebook group, whether you're on your, smart device, tablet, phone, whatever, or the computer, when you go into the group, up close to the top, you'll have these little tabs. It'll say discussion or posts, photos, things like that. Some people don't know about this. And if you click like on the photos, it takes you straight to all the photos. You don't have to read all the information. You can see all the photos right there. Okay? But some of them have files where people have uploaded files into the group. Right? And those files can be simply pictures. They can be pictorials. They can be PDF documents. All kind of stuff. There's all kind of information if you look for it. Right? There's more places to find paracord bracelet tutorials than YouTube. They're out there. But I know some of these paracord groups on Facebook, they have, you go into their photo section and it can be, the admins or the group members, however it's all set up in the settings, can create a photo album. And they can title it whatever, and they can put, whatever type photos that kind of fall into the category of the title. Well, there's some that have pictorials. They'll name the album after the designer of the weaves, and all the pictures in that photo album are the designs of that weaver, and it's all pictorials. You see what I'm saying? you just have to look for these things. I've come across, there's quite a few blog pages, I guess the general term, blog pages that are on the internet. Let's see, what are some that I know of? What's it called? I want to say there's one. Oh, I can't remember the guy's name. I've done one or two of the weaves I found on there. It's called Knotorials. And it's some, what's his name? Hang on a second. Let me pull this up and I can tell you the name. I think I've got it bookmarked. Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's called, I don't know what this gentleman's name is. And I think I've seen him post some stuff in some of the Facebook groups. Because he was posting the weaves from this thing. And it makes me think that maybe that's him. But I don't know what his actual name is. But it's called Rawks, W-R, no, wait a minute. Let me rephrase. Let me correct myself. R-A-W-K''S. Rawks, Knotorials. He's got quite a few on there. It's a blog page. It's on, the standard orange logo with a B. Blog, right? There's quite a few type things like that out there on the internet. If you just know where to look, you can come across them. Now, some of them, they're simply talking about paracord, this and that, but some of them actually have pictorials step by step of how to do some of these things. So, search. You'll come across this stuff. There's all kind of pages out there like that. And when I come across this stuff, if I remember, I'll bookmark it. So, with all that said, let me throw this out there. For those who are watching this video right now, if you know of any of these things like that, a certain Instagram, there's another one. There's some accounts on Instagram that, they'll show pictures of their stuff, but then they'll have pictorials of their work. I've even seen some people who have multiple accounts. One will be their work, and the other one is nothing but pictorials. Makes sense. So, with that said, whoever's watching this video, if you got links like that, where you get some of the designs that you do, or just that this place has a bunch of pictorials, video tutorials, whatever, share the links below. That way, we can all share our resources and we can all learn together. That's the whole point of this channel. Like I mentioned in something the other day, I'm not in competition with anybody. I just want us all to learn and grow and get better, hone our craft. I see so many, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but I see so many people come into this and they figure out how to do a Cobra weave, and the next thing you know, they're a master and they want to start selling their work. Well, maybe you might want to go back and not try to sell anything just yet. Go back and hone your skills a little bit before you start trying to sell stuff that, I'll just be honest, doesn't look all that great. I try not to be mean, but some people's work, it looks like, a high school kid's weekend craft project that they just throw together at the last minute because they had to do the project, and they throw it together at the last minute, and it doesn't look very well. I get it. But they turn around and they try to hustle a quick buck by selling it. Out of respect for us in this community, please don't do that. Go learn how to do this stuff first, then sell it. I'll leave it at that. But if you got links to resources, share them in the comments below. Okay, let's see what else. Like I said, this is a seedless weave. This one is kind of a combination of stuff. That Cobra inlay, that's Mockabits. And the bracelet, I forget. Matthias and Yellow was the designer of the basic bracelet weave. Okay, let's see. Let's see some more that I've done. Here's some that I've done. These are probably the ones I've done in maybe the last week. I just put the tutorial up for this one right here, the Hongyan. It's spelled Hongren. It's from a Chinese word, Hongyan. But here's one I did. I got two tutorials, one on how to do the bracelet and then one on the stitching. Alright. These are seedless weaves. This is the Ultron, as in the Marvel comic book character. So I got a tutorial on how to do the weave and then another one on how to do the stitching. And this one looks really good. I really like this weave. Okay, let's see. What's another one I've done? This one right here it was designed, this one right here was designed, let me say, Sato Garcia, I think is how you pronounce that. Sato, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But this is his design. He also designed this one. Now the stitching, that's me. Like I say, I'll take a weave and I'll do it and then I'll figure out how to stitch it. Well, the basic weave is Sato Garcia. I did all that stitching. Here's the one he did right here. If you look, you can see the microcord stitching. That was me, but the weave itself is Sato Garcia. And this is a formic, F-O-R-M-I-C is the word. Not quite sure what that word means or whatever, but that's one of his designs, and I've done that one recently. Okay, then I've done this one. Let's see. This one right here, Colonial Blue and Cascade is the multicolored down the middle, but this is known as a Widowmaker, is what it's called. But this is a weave by Jason Lake. Many of you in the paracord community have probably heard of him. If you hadn't, you've probably seen some of his weaves. One I see posted, a lot of people do, and they post it, is The Hunter. That's probably his most popular one. Or he's got one also called The Brute, right? I've seen that one on YouTube tutorial. Now, he's got an Instagram account, I know that, and he's got quite a few pictures, but he's also got some pictorials. I don't think he has a YouTube channel. I've never been able to find a specific YouTube channel by him, but people put video tutorials of his work on YouTube. But he's got a Widowmaker. That's what this one's called. Let's see. And then I did one stitching. Now, I saw a picture of one of his bracelets that he had stitched, and I just recreated it. Now, but that's the same weave. I just, put the stitching on it. Then he's got one that he's done. It's called a double Widowmaker, or Taken Souls. T-A-K-E-N. Taken Souls. Right? These are all Jason Lake's. I'll show you one I've done. Here's one I've done in kind of my Superman theme colors. Gold is a 6-strand core, independent core, standalone core, however you want to refer to that. And then this is Galaxy Blue and Burgundy. And that's kind of like I say, Superman theme. Think of the newer Superman costumes that are the darker tones. They're not the real bright red and bright blue and bright yellow or whatever. The darker ones. That's kind of what is in my mind when I have those colors. And I did one in my signature colors, the gold, the olive drab, and the maroon. Oh, I put this one on a maroon buckle also. Let's see. Here's one I've done in an olive theme. Let's see. Moss is the strand, the core strands. Stealth olive is the darker color, and it's not stitching, it's interwoven while you do it, but it's 95. It's olive drab. It's kind of an olive green themed one. Alright, then I done one in the other colors I like, the black and the red. And I did the core strands in that dark gray anthracite. Alright, okay, there's that. But like I said, those are all Jason Lake's weaves. He's got, Jason Lake, or Lake Bros, B-R-O-W-S, Lake Bros Paracord. He's got an account on Instagram. I assume that's Lake Brothers. I assume that's what that's supposed to mean on Instagram. All right. Now, with all that said, let's just get to what's in the box. Right. That's what we all want to see. I got this one. I got a few colors in it and some stuff. So I figured I would show you some of these. Excuse me. I would show you some of these colors. Let's see. Here, give me a second. Let me open this up. That way, I don't reveal to the entire YouTube world my address. Oof. I can get this thing open. Okay. Got it open. I'll bring it over here so we can see what we got. Paracord EU. And like I say to people always say, where you get the buckles? I'll get them for Paracord EU. They're like, well, the shipping is so much. Well, if you sit down and you do the math and you compare, I'll make this brief. Go look into what I'm saying. These buckles I use. I call them a tactical. Here, let me show you. Let me find one that's you can see a little bit better. Right? People always ask me, and I said, I tell them, and they say, well, man, it costs so much to ship from over there. Well, sit down and do what I'm telling you, okay? Go find these quote-unquote tactical buckles. That's just a generic term, tactical buckle. It sounds cool, and it's easier to say than what they're actually called. These are actually called metal safe lock buckles. That's how they're labeled at Paracord EU. But if you go on Amazon, you can type in tactical buckle and you'll find all kind of results. It's generically what they're known as. But you go find them on Amazon. Let's see, do I have one over here? Maybe I've got one somewhere over here. Hang on a second. Let me find one like I'm trying. Here's one right here that I'm trying to talk about. Yeah, this one is kind of a brass finish as opposed to this one that's black, so you can see it a little bit better, right? But buckles like this on Amazon, normally you buy it and there's two of them come in a pack, and they cost you X amount of dollars, right? You can go and find pretty much the same buckle, and to be quite honest, better quality for Paracord EU. And they don't cost quite as much. They're cheaper, right? Okay, so consider. I'm gonna make these numbers up. Say I buy two of these off of Amazon. It costs me $10, and I got Amazon Prime, so I don't pay anything for shipping. So I pay $10 for two buckles. That's $5 a buckle. You go to Paracord EU and you buy two of these buckles. Let's just say Amazon will get it for $5. It don't cost us any shipping. You go to Paracord EU. I'm going to make it simple. These numbers aren't correct. I'm making them up to prove a point. You buy one of the same buckle, costs you $2.50. Half the price of the one you're getting on Amazon. So you're already saving $2.50. Right? Okay, now imagine if you buy enough at one time. For every buckle you buy, you're going to, compared to what you would pay on Amazon, you're saving $2.50. So, if you buy enough of them at one time, all that $2.50 times every buckle you bought adds up, in effect, to pay for the shipping it costs to get it from Northern Europe to the United States, which is where I live. So, and the thing is, with Paracord EU, if you buy one, it costs you X. Like, let's just, for example, like I said, I'm making these numbers up. You go figure it out and do it yourself. You pay one buckle, costs you $3. But if you buy 10 buckles, they'll cost you $2.80 a piece. If you buy 20 buckles or 50 buckles, the more you buy in one order, the cheaper they are per buckle. It's buying in bulk, right? So, if you sit down and you do the math, if you buy enough of them at one time, it ends up, the money you're saving compared to buying the same number of from Amazon, that money you're saving covers the cost of shipping. And if you buy enough, does that make sense? But people always tell me, well, it's so expensive to ship. I'm like, yeah, but if you buy in bulk, it's not that big of a deal. But I know some people don't have the money to do this. And I get it. They're, but, like I say, I'm fortunate. I'm in a situation where I've got the money. I sell some of these and I turn around and pretty much most of the money I make from selling my stuff goes right back into me buying more supplies. I sell my product to feed my addiction. We all know that. Right? So, with that said, just think, you buy enough of these buckles at one time, the money you're saving covers the cost of the shipping in comparison to what you're going to pay on Amazon. Hopefully that makes sense. If you don't believe me, go do the math. That's what I did. I sat down and I'm like, whoa. And what gets me is, the ones I got from Amazon, I bought from all kind of different sellers. This person sold them, this person, this person, this person. I got a bunch of them. And to be frankly honest, most of them, the quality was not very good. I get them from here, 99% of the time the quality's good. Every now and then you'll get one that might have like a defect, I say a defect, just a bad spot on the finish, or the spring mechanism might be off. But that's rare. Amazon, yeah, it was pretty much every one of them. 90% of those would be messed up. So, whatever. But anyway, all right, I'm done talking here. Let's get to this and I'll show you what all I got. I got a whole bunch of cord. That's what I got. I bought this. I wanted to see this. I'll go ahead and here. Let me get, before I throw that away, I need that. Let me see. A lot of times they'll put a little flyer, and if they've got some sort of discount code or something going on, or contest or whatever, they'll put it on there. Yeah, they've got a couple of their little monthly contests they do. They're advertising their new Makers Community Paracord EU Facebook group. The invoice, that's what I want. I'll make sure I get everything. Okay, let's see. This one right here, khaki. I don't have any khaki. I don't use browns a lot, like coyote brown, deep brown, acid brown, chocolate brown. I've got chocolate brown. I've got brown, and I've got a little bit of coyote brown, but it's some really. I think it come from like one of the craft stores in my local town here. It's not the best quality cord, but somebody said something to me about khaki, and this is. Paracord EU labels this as light khaki. And they made the comment, let me see, yes, light khaki. The friend of mine made the comment that this color might go with this combination pretty well. And I started looking at it, and I'm like, well, it kind of does have that olive green look to it. Yeah, now that I get it in hand, this does have more of an, most of the time we think of khaki being a light brown tannish color. That is not quite what this is. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of has a little bit of that olive hue in there too. So you could use that together, I think, maybe. I have to look into that and try it. But this is a little small, what is this, 10-meter bundle. Basically equivalent to like 30 feet, give or take. It says on here 10 meters to 32 feet, right? You can buy one of these $3, $4, $5. I forget what it is. I think it's about $4. Right? Okay, I got that. Let's see, what else did I get? Buckles buying in bulk. That's why I mentioned all that. These are all the exact same black 15 millimeter, which is a 5/8 equivalent, metal safe lock buckles. See what I'm saying? This, like I said, do the math. I'm making numbers up. If I paid $2.50 for each one of these, compared to the $5 you would pay on Amazon, But, you know, you do the math. Let's just say there's 100 in there, which that's not how many it is. Not quite that many, but it's a lot. But you see what I'm saying? Sit down and do the math, figure it out. Bam. Now here's some of the brass ones. These are also 15 millimeter or 5/8 inch equivalent. But I buy them in bulk. If I've got the money, I usually try to buy as many as I can. Because I was getting low. And they'd been out of stock for a while. And they finally come back into stock. So I buy me some. Most likely in the coming week or two, if they still have them in stock, I'll buy some more. Most likely not that many, but I will. Okay, so the colors here. Here's one I use quite often. I was getting a little low, so I went ahead and bought this. It's smoke gray. Very light gray. So it's almost the equivalent of, like if you buy just gray here in America, it's a little bit darker than your standard gray. It's not as dark as charcoal gray or graphite. It's not as dark as those. It's a lighter gray. It's on the lighter side. Like I say, your standard gray is lighter than this, but this is not as dark as charcoal gray. That's one of the gray. Charcoal gray and graphite's some popular colors, but that's that. Let's see. This is 95. Actually, it's to be honest with you, their stuff in Europe, it's not 95, it's actually 100 tensile strength. Here in America, you buy type 1 or whatever, it'll be labeled as 95, meaning the tensile strength, how much it takes to snap that cord, 95 pounds of pressure, right? Well, in Europe, they don't call it 95, they call it 100 because it's a little bit thicker. Not much. I mean, you'd never even notice it just looking at it, but it's a little bit thicker. But this is rust, type 1. I've been wanting to get some of this. I don't. There was something that come up the other day, and I thought, you know, if I had rust, I would do it in rust colors. I said, but I don't have it in this size cord, so I went ahead. I'm starting to get a lot more of this 95 cord, a 100 type cord, because some of the things I've been doing, like that red, that's 95. Okay, let's see, what's next? This is, what blue is this? Sapphire blue, that's what this is, sapphire blue. It's darker than colonial blue, but it's not quite as dark as electric blue. That's when you see, or royal blue. It's not quite that dark, but it's darker than colonial blue. Let's see. There's colonial blue in microcord, but that's sapphire blue. Let's see, what is this one right here? If anybody wonders, this is my my rack of microcord. I've got it on my desk. What is this one? This is electric blue. See what I'm saying here? Let's hold that back up there so you can see in comparison. Under the same lighting. The sapphire blue is darker than the colonial blue, but not as dark as the electric blue. Yep. I use blues quite often. Blues and olive greens and grays. I use those quite often. I've got quite a few reds, but I don't use them very often. I bought some of them and I don't like them except for the Imperial red. But that's sapphire blue. Okay, and then this one is, this is bronze brown right here. Now, compared to that rust, it's not quite as dark. It's very similar, but it's not quite as dark. You know, that's not a bad color right there. Bronze brown right there. Okay, let's see. What's next? This is Galaxy Blue. The same blue that's been used on this bracelet. And it's not quite as dark as, let's see, do I have one over here? Yeah, midnight blue. This bracelet is midnight blue. So you can see the comparison. It's a dark blue, but it's not as dark as midnight blue. And to me, honestly, it looks a lot better than the electric blue. The electric blue is just, it's electric looking. It's vibrant. I mean, it's not bad. I just like the darker look a little bit better. But I use this one quite often. Those Superman color type things, I often use this Galaxy Blue for those. Okay, now this, let me see. This is called Infectious. Is that what this one is? Yeah, Infectious. It's like white, black, and I think it's neon yellow. One of these multicolored cords that I don't use very often, but there are certain weaves that these things look great on. Okay. My computer's talking to me. Right? And then the last one I got here is it's a shockwave style cord. If you don't know what I mean when I say shockwave, it's the pattern of the cord. Like we've all seen the diamond pattern. You have a cord in one color and then it's got diamonds on it in another color. That's the diamond. This is a shockwave pattern is what it's known as. Now, Paracord EU has a pretty big selection of colors when it comes to this shockwave. Some of the places in America, they sell it, but I haven't seen much of a selection, right? But this is midnight blue and baby blue shockwave. And if you look at it, I know in that camera, it just simply looks like there's marks on it. But if you get down and you look close enough, let's see, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. It's actually a zigzag pattern. It's not a spiral, meaning it's not spiraling around the cord going down the length of the cord. No, it's a zigzag that goes, one zigzag goes all the way around in one color, and then next to it there's another zigzag pattern in another color, and it just alternates between the two. But that's what's known as the shockwave pattern. And that's midnight blue and baby blue. You can find it in, there's a variety of colors you can get it in. Let's see. I've got some examples. I've got some that I made. Let me see if I can find any over here. Here's one I know. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's two of them. I'll show you these two. Give me just a second. Let me get these bracelets off my display rack behind my head, and I'll show you examples of this. Now you can get it in, like I said, they got all kind of color combinations. But here's black and imperial red shockwave right there. This works really good on some accent. If it'll focus. Not really, but you get the idea. And here is black and, what is this supposed to be? Neon green or lime green? I forget specifically what it is. And then I did, this is also the same weave, a black widow. But I did it in black, that shockwave, and in the acid purple. Kind of a Barney, Joker, Hulk thing, whatever you're into there. But that's one of the shockwaves. They have it in, what are some other colors they have it in? Like black and olive shockwave. They've got like, I think I've got it over there. They say it's black and silver gray. But when you look at it, because silver gray is so close, there's silver gray. Where's, I think I have some white over here. I think this is white, yeah. It's polyester white, but it's white. Now see, when you put, this is white and this is silver gray. When you put them next to each other, you can tell that's gray. But if you just have this next to a black on that shockwave cord, it looks like black and white. Honestly, it does. But what's some other colors they have in that? I don't know. Just go. You can go to any of the paracord suppliers and just type in shock wave. It's all one word. My phone just said lightning has been detected in your location. Yeah, we had some bad storms and a lot of rain last night, and it's supposed to rain again today. That's how it is. I live in the southeast United States, and a thunderstorm will come up out of nowhere. It'll be bright, sunny, shine day. You know, perfect summer day. 5 minutes later, it will be black skies and thunderstorms, lightning, tornadoes. Not so much during the middle of the summer. Tornadoes don't happen. Tornadoes are spring and fall here where I live. But I do live in Tornado Alley, for those of you who have heard of that. But you can go on any of the paracord supply sites and type in shockwave, all one word. And it'll spit back results of the various color combinations they have. And it's a pretty good, I like that pattern. Like I said, you can do it. It looks pretty good. If you choose, if you put it with the right colors and in the right weave, in the right place of that weave, it can look really good. But there you go. I mean, that's about all I got this week. But like I said, I appreciate you watching, everybody. And like I was talking about, there's different places. There's all kind of places to get resources of how to do these weaves. Tutorials, pictorials, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, certain blog pages, certain Facebook groups have a file section and or in their photo albums, whatever. And then there are some people who, there's two that I can think of off the top of my head, that they'll post a picture of a bracelet they've made. They've designed the weave, and they'll kind of hype it up for 2 or 3 days, and they'll post all these different ones they've done. The same weave they designed, they've just done, in different colors. And then they'll eventually, bam, they'll post, 5, 6 picture, panel picture or whatever for the tutorial for that. Right? But they're out there. But, like I say, if you know of any places like that, resources, you got a book you would recommend, any web pages, blog, Facebook groups, YouTube channels, anything like that, put a link down below. Let's share the resources, Like I tell people, it's not necessarily, sometimes it's not always about knowing everything as it is knowing where I can go find the information. I don't know that, but I know where I can go look it up and find out about that. You see what I'm saying? Resources. You can never have too many resources. Just like you can't have too many colors in paracord, you can't have too many resources when you're trying to learn how to do this and expand your craft. But, like I say, links below. Put that. Give us a like. Give us a share. You know the routine. But with that, I'm gonna end this one like I end them all. Keep it neat. Keep it clean. Keep it tight. Happy weaving, folks.